Right, everyone, stop what you're doing. A new Roman emperor has been found. Last week, I'm a little bit late to the party, I won't lie to you. I want to let all the articles and discussion and that build up a wee bit before I said my piece. And I was a little bit busy getting my Master of Science in Classical Art and Archaeology. Let me just flash this again real quick. Yo, yep, that's right, that's it. Read it and weep. I am a master. Anyways, a new Roman emperor has been found. Shock horror. And I'm going to go through some of the articles with you, say my piece, what I think, thoughts, feelings, etc, etc. It's been a while since we've done a proper reactions video. Now, it must be said that although I am a master of classical art and archaeology, I am not an expert in the Roman field of stuff. I'm very strange in the way that my expertise and interests goes from ancient Greece, skip over the Roman Empire, a little bit of like the end, Roman Britain. I like my Roman Britain. And then the Byzantine Empire, which is bad of me, I know. Everybody in their dug likes to talk about the Romans, so I like to be a little bit quirky and different. But this is big enough that I want to say my piece on it. I'd also love to hear from you guys. Leave your thoughts, questions, comments down below as well. We're going to react, we're going to discuss, we're going to see what we feel about it. And of course I'll link all the articles that we look at today down below. I haven't actually picked them yet. I've got one starting article and we're just gonna go and see where we end up. Let's go! I'm going to bring yous over here. I forgot to set it up. Welcome to my Archaeolo retweeter. I've actually retweeted this. This was the first tweet that I found the article from. Hey yo, new Roman emperor just dropped. So this is the first article we're going to be looking at. History first, which I've never actually heard of. Coins long dismissed as crude and eccentric forgeries are genuine and prove the existence of a forgotten #Roman emperor, Sponsian, who ruled a breakaway state in the province of Dacia during the 260s. Okay, here we go. History first. Roman coins dismissed as fakes are genuine and depict lost emperor. Coins of an emperor Sponsian, long dismissed as forgeries, are genuine and reveal the existence of a forgotten military leader and breakaway Roman state in 3rd century Europe, a study claims. Okay. Scientific analysis of the highly unusual coins, which were recorded as a new discovery in 1713, reveals markers of authenticity invisible to the human eye. A reconstruction of the career of Sponsian suggests that he ruled a breakaway regime in the province of Dacia during the 260s and 270s AD. I'm a fan of putting AD before the numbers, but that's just personal preference. That's nothing to do with the legitimacy of the article. That's just, I would have said, during the AD 260s and 270s. The earliest mention of the alleged discovery of the coins comes from a note by Carl Gustav Haraeus. Ooh, what a name. In March 1713, he recorded the acquisition of 8 gold coins, sorry, not 18, jeez. Reading out loud is not my strong point, sorry. Coins were initially accepted as ancient but thought to be barbarous imitations produced beyond the frontiers of the empire. However, more recently, scholarly consensus has been that they were clumsy, eccentric 18th century fakes. Yeah, I can see why they thought they were fake if the weighting's off and they're made a completely different way and the designs are crude copies, because the Romans were very meticulous when it came to their coins. That's one thing I do know, is that they were very specific about the weight of each coin, like all the measurements and that. As for the specifics of the designs, some are copies of Emperor Gordian III, and others are copies of coins dating from 47 BC during the Roman Republic. Oh, wow. A third type features an inscription dedicated to Emperor Philip I or his son Philip II, beside a head of Roma, the personification of Rome, lifted from a 1st century BC silver coin of the Republic. Wow, okay, bits from all over the shop then. The Roman Republic was obviously in the BCs. Augustus didn't start to rule till very, very late BC, early AD, so that was the start of the empire, end of the Republic. And then Philip I is also known as Philip the Arab. He came a long time after that. Long time after that. Gordian III came kind of right before Philip and his son. Whoa, that was at the turn of like the 3rd century. Crisis! Isn't that fun? Anyway, finally, the coins naming Sponsian show his head and title of Imperator on one side and an image copied from a 135 BC coin of the Republic on the other, with the inscription C. Augustus. If the Sponsian coins are genuine, 3rd century Romans may have interpreted the inscription as an associating Sponsian with the imperial titles of Caesar Augustus. Yes, okay, I get that. And these are the coins. University of Glasgow? I can go and see these coins then, you're telling me. I could probably get a wee train and go and see these up close and personal, maybe. Can I make this bigger? I can. Wow, let's have a look. Okay, that's terrible quality, but you know what, I tried. But you can see there, Sponsian, Sponsian. This is our lad. To investigate the coin's authenticity, Dr. Paul Pearson of University College London and colleagues at the University of Glasgow applied pioneering techniques to study 4 examples that are held at the Hunterian in Glasgow and now on public display. So I'm going to make a trip very soon to go and see these coins if they're on display. I will absolutely be going to see them. They used visible light microscope. Okay, now you're getting out. When it comes to the sciencey bits, that's me. I'm tapping out. Ultraviolet imaging, scanning electron reflection mode Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy to study the 4 coins and for comparison to undoubtedly authentic Roman gold coins. This is a nice picture. Got these guys to zoom in on the coin on bloody Adobe. I love a good staged photo for like an article or a newspaper, and that it really makes me chuckle. The analysis published in the journal give me that, that'll be getting looked at. Deep micro abrasion patterns associated with the coins that were in circulation for a long period of time. Aha, here we go. The researchers also studied tiny deposits of soil in the crevices of the coins, finding that after this extensive circulation, the coins were buried for a prolonged period before being uncovered. They said the collective evidence strongly suggests the coins were authentic. Aha. Ahahaha. I see. There was no evidence they'd been scrubbed or artificially abraded and battered about to try to age them. What was more compelling is the dirt, which you can see cemented on at the surface. We thought this could be baked on, glued on, rubbed on, or painted on with some artificial substance, but it's natural dirt and is cemented in place by silica. Very fine silica spots occur absolutely everywhere on these coins. Gold is unreactive but provides a template for cement to crystallise onto the surface. Or clinging cracks and crevices. We compared that pattern to genuine coins and it's exactly the same. What that's basically saying is, obviously in the 1713, early 1700s, they thought these coins were fake. It was easy to fake things back then because they couldn't do all this microscopic analysis and stuff, right? Easy to make a coin look battered and weathered, chuck some dirt on it, make it look old. But what these guys are saying is, in comparison to real coins and known authentic coins of past emperors, I'm trying to figure out how to say this correctly without sounding like an idiot. Faked stuff just microscopically wouldn't look the same. Like, there's a natural way of wear and tear that these coins would go through, especially after being under the ground for so long. Certain minerals and stuff only form after an age that you can't really duplicate. Maybe you can in modern terms with like science and that, but in the 1700s you couldn't get the same effect without actually burying stuff for hundreds of years. This is good evidence that they've got here. I've got some coins on my desk. Shall we have a look? I mean, yous can't really see. These are all good coins too. It's my Peter Rabbit 50p collection. But even on here already, yous won't be able to see this, even if I bring yous in close. No, yous can't see. Anyway, I can see there's already natural wear and tear and like chips and scratches on the face of the 50p because that's just natural wear and tear from when it's been in circulation. But that's just an example of coins do get battered around. It's a matter of age and time that humans can't fully recreate, really. I would go as far to say that they can't be faked. At least it would be very, very difficult to fake now, and it would have been beyond anyone's imagination during the 18th century. Thank you very much, whoever said this. It's a quote, but I don't think it says who actually said it. That's absolutely fine. I'm assuming it's Pearson. Thousands of a millimetre crystals of sulfate on the surface of the dirt, and that's a really common chemical reaction that occurs when things that have been buried get exposed to air. When we saw all this, we concluded that the coins were worn in antiquity, buried for a long period, and dug up. And I rest my case. That's what I was trying to say 2 minutes ago. If I had just kept reading, he would have explained it himself. And that begs the question, who was Sponsian? Please enlighten me. Tell me. The team suggests that Sponsian was an army commander in the province of Dacia during a period of profound turmoil in the 260s. Specifically, they suggest that Dacia became cut off from the imperial centre around 260 by incursions of Goths and other barbarians. Oh god, no, the Goths, man. They said their scenario may explain an apparent contradiction in Roman sources that has long puzzled historians. On one hand, that Dacia was lost to the empire during the reign of Gallienus, but that it was Aurelian in 270 to 275 who evacuated the people and soldiers to a new province south of the Danube. Okay, so Roman sources have said Dacia was lost during the reign of Gallienus, just gone. But then they're also saying Aurelian went in and evacuated the people, therefore insinuating that it wasn't lost under Gallienus, but Sponsian kept it running, and then Aurelian's been the one to boost everybody out. Is that what you're telling me? Both statements could be reconciled if the original province was cut off and seceded under Gallienus, and later evacuated the northern division when Aurelian. Oh, today's not one for the reading, but alas, that's what we're doing. Anyway, a far more effective commander than Gallienus secured withdrawal routes. According to Pearson, it's possible that Sponsian cooperated with Aurelian and went into retirement, but more likely that he was murdered or executed. That's obviously, there's very few Roman emperors that managed to actually retire. There's a couple. The coins were produced from the precious metals. So they've been completely cut off from the rest of the wider empire. But it's like this little vestibule of Roman Dacia, I'm assuming. The only imperial mint in Dacia had closed in the mid-250s, but specialists could have been co-opted from the local jewellery industry, which worked in gold using clay moulds, and that would explain the cast nature, rather than the... what's it called? The other way of making the coins that I said at the beginning, and now I can't remember. What was it? Struck between the dies, that's the one. I love this. Dr. Paul Pearson. We think it's fair to call him a Roman emperor. Thank you, Paul. Brilliant stuff. Sponsian should not be seen as a usurper, challenging central authority. Rather, he acted out of local necessity to protect the population when secure communication with Rome was impossible. Pearson said, we think it's fair to call him a Roman emperor because his name's Roman, he commanded Roman legions, and that's what the title Imperator says, and he styled himself as an emperor, albeit of a local variety. He added that in holding the frontier, Sponsian made played an important role in prolonging the empire's survival. So they had the whole operation to keep themselves going as a military state, so it may be that they prevented further incursions by the Gothic Confederation and saved the empire. Wow, okay. So they're basically saying that our guy Sponsian was a military commander. After Gallienus, something happened, Dacia's been kind of split off from the empire, communications have been shut down. Sponsian's kept Dacia going as if it was still part of the empire as a Roman settlement, and even though he's been completely cut off, he's still maintained the frontier. He still kept it running as part of the Roman Empire, albeit a bit jailbait because he's not got connections to the full Roman Empire. He's had to mine all his own stuff, he's had to make his own coins which don't match up with the weights and measures and stuff because he's just working with what he's got in his cut off state, which is fine. I mean, calling yourself an emperor, fair, I guess. I mean, he wasn't emperor of the whole empire, he was just emperor over this one wee bit. Is that a little bit far to go? If he did rule the way that it seems that he ruled, fair play, I would say. But shall we go on and read another one? Oh, this is a lot. Oh, this is a lot. Okay. So this is the actual article by Paul Pearson, who was the one mainly quoted in the previous article. Authenticating coins of the Roman Emperor Sponsian. He was most likely an army commander in the isolated Roman province of Dacia during the military crisis of the 260s CE. CE also means AD. It's kind of a way of getting rid of BC being, what was it, before Christ, and then AD being Anno Domini. BCE meaning before Common Era, CE meaning Common Era. Takes the religious side out of it. Yeah, they say here he's an army commander. So he's been an army commander, and he's kept this place going, and I think his ego's got the better of him, and he's went, "Ken what? I'm an emperor, mate. Put my face on the coins." And then again you got IMP Sponsian here. There's our dude. This is our guy. Look, he's high. I'll try and speed through this one a little bit better because this is a proper meaty article, obviously, because this is the report of their findings. Emperor Sponsian was recently reviewed as part of a study of Rome's 3rd century crisis. Yes, that was what happened in the 3rd century. There was a crisis. It's a lot to explain for another time, not right now. Either way, it's important to clear up an issue that was described as an unsolved mystery in the standard catalogue of Roman imperial coins, issued in 1948, and has received relatively little attention since. So that's them kind of stating, either way, these coins are important because if they're fakes, we can look at them in the light of more recent time period, 1700s, faking of antiquities, which was not uncommon. And then if they are real, then bada bing bada boom baby, we've got a whole new Roman emperor to look at and study and find out more about. So basically just consolidating that either way, these coins are not insignificant. Either way, they should warrant further study. Supposed discovery of Sponsian coins and related pieces come from a handwritten note by Carl Gustav Herrerius. A handwritten note? Jeez. What, did Appier carry around a laptop in the 1700s? I don't think so. I don't know why I'm so surprised by that. We know the current whereabouts of only 4 coins of Sponsian, 2 in Vienna and 1 each in Glasgow and Sibiu. Whoa. What's this? Diagrammatic representation of known and likely You're alright. I trust you on that one. Tapes 5 and 6, featuring the unknown Emperor Sponsian in mid-3rd century style, have a reverse design copied from a Republican issue that would have been over 370 years old at the apparent time of manufacture! Exclamation point! Whoa! You never see exclamation points in these sort of reports and that. They're always deadpan. Known weight of the coins of the entire assemblage averages at 12.66 grams, with a coefficient variation of 29%, which compares with... That's a lot of numbers, my dude. Early specialists accepted the coins as genuine products of antiquity and classified them alongside so-called barbarous imitations of Roman coins. Barbarous meaning the barbarians, meaning anyone who wasn't Roman. The Scottish were barbarians, the Gauls were barbarians. It was even used in ancient Greek times just to describe anybody that wasn't Greek. Just the other, whoever wasn't them. I'm just a little barbarian. Sponsian came to be regarded as a short-lived local usurper otherwise unknown to history, who may have made a bid for supreme power during the civil wars that ended Philip's reign. Okay, so that's what they first thought he was. However, in 1868, Henry Cohen, the leading expert of the time, declared the coins as poorly made and ridiculously imagined modern fakes. So this person has believed that the coins were faked, but not faked to look Roman, they were faked to look like the work of barbarians who wouldn't make as good coins. The faker faked the coins to look like fake coins, but fake coins that were old, not fake coins that were new. The centrepiece of the deception was the fabricated Emperor Sponsian, who was presumably intended to appeal to the curiosity of potential collectors, attracting a rarity premium. The weight of gold in the known assemblage exceeds $20,000 in modern value. Are you kidding me? And someone's done that for a fake. Someone has risked 20 grand's worth of gold to make fake coins that might have been bought by collectors if they managed to worm their way through. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, please. Okay, this is all stuff that we've kind of went over already. The name Sponsian itself is highly peculiar and a far from obvious choice from the point of view of a hypothetical forager. Forager? Only one instance of it is known, and that's the funerary inscription in Rome, which names Nicodemus Sponsian, which was excavated in 1720s, so after these forgeries would have been made in 1713 anyway, so that's chucked out the window. Building on these observations, we suggest that the manufacture involved a minimum of 6 stages. Here we go. 1. Engrave obverse and reverse designs in negative relief on a hard material such as bronze. 2. Impress a soft substance, possibly pre-prepared clay tablets, into the engraving to produce positive relief hubs. 3. Trim then harden the hubs by firing. 4. Impress the ceramic hubs into soft clay tablets. 5. Align and assemble the obverse and reverse tablets in a frame, creating one-time moulds, leaving voids in between and channels to the outside, then harden by firing. 6. Cast in molten metal, cool, extract the coins, and clean up irregularities and spillage. I actually did this in Nat 5 CDT. Not to make coins, absolutely not. We were making wind chimes. We used polystyrene and mud. We were not making clay tablets. The silica is good evidence that the soil deposits formed in situ, i.e. they were not artificially applied. Thank you very much. In principle, the Sponsian group coins could have been manufactured at any time between the accession of Emperor Philip in 244 CE and the first historical record of their existence in 1713. Hey, that's a big time frame. We must, however, allow time for the wear and burial described above. We are unable to devise any remotely plausible scenario that can account for the wear patterns overlain by cemented earthen deposits, other than they are products of antiquity. The previous consensus among coin specialists that they were faked in the 18th century is clearly untenable. As such, we concluded that they comprise a unique category of ancient coin, heavily cast gold medallions of highly anomalous design that are neither barbarous nor counterfeit. Their main significance would appear to be that Sponsian should be rehabilitated as a historical personage. Nothing can be known about him for certain, but the coins themselves, together with the provenance recorded by Haraeus, provides clues as to his possible place in history. Right, the historical Sponsian, let's see what they say about this bit. It seems unlikely to us that Philip would have featured on coins of a rebel. That's true. If you're trying to usurp that guy's throne and you're trying to take over from that person, why would you then put him on your coins? Like, why would you put your enemy on your coins? That would be a strange move, even in Roman times. We suggest that Dacia became cut off from the imperial centre around 260 and effectively seceded under its own military regime, which initially coined precious metal bullion using the names of the most recent previous emperors who had achieved some success in the area, and finally under the name of a local commander-in-chief, i.e. Sponsian. See, it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. There was, however, an artisan jewellery industry at Apulum working in gold using clay moulds, so we suggest that the person who manufactured the coins was co-opted from there using the technique familiar to them. So they weren't even made at an official mint or by a coin master, coin maker, money maker. What do you call someone who makes coins? Aurelian organised an orderly withdrawal of the military and civilian population to a newly formed province on the southern side of the Danube. We suggest that nearly all precious metal in circulation was recalled in exchange for official currency during the evacuation. That would make sense. The 1713 group may have been buried by a wealthy individual who for whatever reason failed to join the exodus. You always get people who don't want to leave. But that would make sense because coming out of that little nucleus of Dacia that they'd been living in, the Dacian coins of Sponsian or whoever had coined on them, they wouldn't match up with the official coins of the Roman Empire, and coming back into that society they would need to swap. Most likely those coins would have got melted down then if they went into imperial hands. But you never know, there's most likely still some floating about. This was the bit that we touched on in the beginning. Reign of Gallienus, Dacia was lost, but then Aurelian evacuated it to a new province, so if it was lost, how is there still people there to be evacuated? Because Sponsian was there. holding on for dear life, and holding the fort, quite literally. That was only one hypothesis as well, do not get it twisted. Just because these people who have first looked at these coins say that that is Sponsian and that's what happened, they've made a lot of information out of these coins, just from proving the fact that they're real and not fake. I'd love to hear your hypotheses and your little theories and whatnot, any questions that you have. To me it makes sense, but also I am not fully immersed in the Roman Empire and that. I couldn't tell you every wee detail. I have pals that could. Obviously there are people out there who specifically study Rome, who are well more equipped to look at that and maybe pick out points that seem a bit fishy or whatever, but for me it all seems to add up. Like, that's opened up, not only is now there's a new Roman emperor, that's opened up a whole new line of thinking. Call him an emperor, yeah, but for an emperor you need to have an empire, and he had Dacia. He didn't have access to the wider empire, but I can see why he called himself an emperor and why he adopted that image, and how that probably helped the people who were living there to continue on. I'm tired after reading all that. Jeez, I've sat here for like nearly 2 hours talking about that. Thank you ever so much for joining me for that. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings and theories and concerns about that, especially since there might be something in that article that's blatantly wrong and I haven't noticed because Roman stuff is not my specific interest area of study. If you have more knowledge about that, please feel free to dive on in and just let me know. There's always room for discussion and stuff in my comment section as long as it's relevant to the topic at hand. And I'll link both of those articles below, the final report and the history one. And if you just Google Sponsian, everyone in their dug's talking about it. Don't forget to give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more archaeology, more Archaeologist reacts stuff, more fun. I also live stream on Twitch every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday for the most part. Along with the articles as well, there'll be links in the description box below to my Twitch, Discord, Mastodon, Twitter, archaeological Twitter, archaeological Instagram, archaeological Tumblr, normal Instagram, normal Twitter. Don't have a normal Tumblr anymore. Have a lovely rest of your week, my troops, and I shall see you all next Tuesday.